Welding cables are not approved for use as feeder cables for generators, according to the National Electrical Code and Underwriters Laboratory Standards. NEC 501.10 I requires that feeder conductors be installed in raceways except as provided for in 501.10. B through 501.10. D. Welding cables are not considered raceways, thus this section of the NEC is not applicable. NEC 501.10. D allows the use of flexible cords for certain temporary installations. However, generator connections are not included in the exceptions listed in this section. This means that using flexible cords, including welding cables for permanent generator connections, violates the NEC. UL 600, which is the standard for flexible cords and cables, does not list welding cables as suitable for use as generator feeder cables. This further reinforces the prohibition of using welding cables for this purpose. The appropriate cable type for connecting a generator to premise wiring is a stranded, insulated copper cable. The cable should be rated for the generator's voltage and current output. A cable must be installed in a raceway such as conduit or protected using an approved cable protection system. A raceway provides physical protection for the conductors against damage from abrasion, impact, and environmental factors. It also helps to contain any potential electrical faults. Using the correct type of cable and installing it properly is crucial for ensuring the safety and reliability of the generator connection. Failure to comply with these requirements can lead to electrical hazards, equipment damage, and code violations. It is important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the generator connection is installed in accordance with all applicable codes and standards. Using the wrong cable can lead to overheating, insulation breakdown, and even electrical fires. Furthermore, it can void the generator's warranty and create liability issues in the event of an accident. Firstly, ensure that the cable is properly sized for the generator's output current. Secondly, verify that the cable's insulation is rated for the voltage level of the generator. Thirdly, use a raceway system that is appropriate for the environment in which the cable is being installed. Fourthly, make sure that all connections are tight and secure. Fifthly, test the installation to verify that it is working properly before putting the generator into service. Finally, regularly inspect the installation for any signs of damage or wear. Proper maintenance is essential for ensuring the long-term reliability of the generator connection. Ignoring these precautions can have serious consequences. It is also important to be aware of local codes and regulations that may apply to generator installations. These codes may vary depending on the jurisdiction. Consulting with a local electrical inspector can help ensure that the installation complies with all applicable requirements. The NEC provides specific guidelines for the installation of generators and related equipment. It is important to follow these guidelines carefully to ensure a safe and compliant installation. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in fines, penalties, and legal action. It is always best to err on the side of caution when it comes to electrical safety. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the job. They have the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform the work safely and correctly. Remember, electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure that your generator connection is safe, reliable, and code compliant. Also, it's crucial to understand the difference between welding cables and approved feeder cables. Welding cables are designed for high current, intermittent use in welding applications. They typically have a flexible construction to allow for easy movement and positioning. However, their insulation is not designed for continuous use in a fixed installation. Feeder cables, on the other hand, are designed for continuous use in a fixed installation. They have a more robust insulation system that is designed to withstand the stresses of on-term operation. They are also typically rated for higher voltages and currents than welding cables. Using welding cables for generator connections can create a number of problems. Firstly, the insulation may break down over time, leading to electrical shorts and fires. Secondly, The flexible construction of welding cables can make them more susceptible to damage from abrasion and impact. Thirdly, welding cables are not typically rated for the same environmental conditions as feeder cables. This means that they may not be suitable for use in wet or corrosive environments. For example, if a generator is used to provide backup power to a home or business, the feeder cables must be suitable for use in a residential or commercial environment. Welding cables are not typically designed for this type of application. Finally, using welding cables for generator connections can void the generator's warranty and create liability issues in the event of an accident. It is important to use only approved cables that are specifically designed for the intended application. In addition to using the correct type of cable, it is also important to follow all applicable codes and standards. The NEC provides specific guidelines for the installation of generators and related equipment. It is important to follow these guidelines carefully to ensure safe and compliant installation. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in fines, penalties, and legal action. It is always best to err on the side of caution when it comes to electrical safety. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the job. They have the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform the work safely and correctly. Remember, electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure that your generator connection is safe, reliable, and code compliant. So to reiterate, using welding cable for permanent generator connections is a violation of both NEC and UL standards. The NEC requires feeder conductors to be installed in raceways, and welding cables do not meet this requirement. UL 600 does not list welding cables as suitable for generator feeder cables. Always use stranded, insulated copper cable rated for the generator's voltage and current, installed in a raceway or approved cable protection system. Safety and code compliance are paramount when dealing with electrical installations.